So every 2 to 3 months. Luckily, around that time, I got a job at a restaurant. To be honest, the work sucked, but the people were amazing. They were great people. And as we got closer and closer, we just started hanging out after work, and then outside of work completely. And the reason why we got closer and made friends without even necessarily trying that hard is because I went to a place with people that were similar to me, and I went to.
The video that I'm listening to is by Briny Hart, B-R-I-N-Y, and then Heart, similar to Heartbeat, right? And the video is titled "Mistakes I Made That Were Keeping Me Lonely." I decided to see this because there is a random video, and I want to see this for my attractive people, okay? Please do not see for the ones that are ugly / unattractive as evil people. The reason why we feel that way, this as a bonus, is because we are not as, let's just say, fortunate as you are. Let's just say that you have a 4-leaf clover. We're a shamrock, but sometimes our shamrock will fall apart because our luck is falling. And you basically have just such a blooming amount of luck, right? Multiple times of luck, that you don't know how easy you have it. The reason I had to share this very quick is because there was a video that got suggested. I don't want to watch it. I feel awful because, well, the boys are hot. They're 2 white boys, one that wear glasses. I don't know. I know they're white, right? And they're supposed to be roommates. And the reason why they gotten viral is because they're known on TikTok, right? Again, I don't like TikTok, right? I like to define it as TikTok because yuck. People just love to just over highlight everything, and highlighters are not always attractive. Enough said. However, though, I didn't want to watch the video because, well, they got, Deon, I think it's 117,000 views. I think, yeah, and they got 34,000 subs in this one video. That's because they're good looking, right? And I know a lot of them are women, right? I mean, they're men too, but I don't want to view it because it'll make me feel down about myself, especially the path that I'm in at the moment, and my mother working so hard. I always wonder if I was attractive, and I accept myself being ugly. There is nothing wrong being ugly, right? And again, for my hot people, okay, do not, as long as you don't bully someone, okay, this is your homework, okay? Listen, you hear that bell? Homework. Do not basically think, if because someone is not of your looks, do not call the police on them. Do not say you're creeping me out, because that'll give us a really good example why we shouldn't listen to you and your traumas, because you're basically trying to use a nasty highlighter that I cannot see. That, oh yeah, well, you know what? I got abused by my mother growing up because she stole my Barbie dolls, or basically, let's see, I had G.I. Joe figures, and now I basically bang a really bottom guy, and I'm 6'8" and really muscular. Do I care? You're thinking, wow, you're being Deon, why you don't care? Well, because you're bullying people, and you don't feel guilty about that. I hope you understand that. It's basically a wealthy person saying that, oh, you know what? Why are you so down about yourself? Why can't you just get a new suit? Why can't you just donate a suit to that person that's homeless? Because I gotta take care of my family. Okay, so why you're buying a steak that's basically, I don't know, $40? Freak? And then you're probably saying, stop getting my business. You're the one that got my business. Okay? So do I need to do the boomerang at you? Do I need to be an Aussie cotton of a lad? No, I don't, do I? So I had to just share that. Basically, and I wanted to talk about mothers as well, but I had to do another video. Again, our mothers didn't, well, there are some awful mothers on this earth, but the ones that have amazing mothers that raised them just to get by on this earth, right? They want to build connections with people, similar to me. And for the ones that cannot see that, you gotta get out of, you gotta sneak away from my channel, please. That's in order. So, basically, I have to drink some water very quick. Also, my LG TV is having some issues because of the stupid update. So, my TV is fine. It's just, it's low on memory to the point I can't even open the subtitles unless they're automatic. So, basically, this is an adorable image that I made, right? Really simple, because I can't only do stick figures, right? You got 3 different languages, okay? Meow, right? That's Mandarin. Hola, that's Spanish. Okay, it can be Portuguese, but I'm focusing on Spanish here. And then that one, not Dutch, it's German. Hello. So let me just give it like a good example. 你好吗? Okay? Was? This is, I know this may seem, I don't want anyone to thinking, oh, this is, no. This is, let's just say language discrimination, which I'm sure is a thing, right? Now, let me explain. You see both Spanish and German, right? They're both basically Latin and Germanic languages, which means they're easier to read, and they don't have any, let's just say, actual symbols, but cute accent marks, right? Well, for Mandarin, they do not, well, they do also can type or write in pinyin, which is the Latin version of their language. However, though, they usually would type, obviously, in symbols, right? And let's just say the Chinese speaker, they get made fun of just because, well, they got symbols. Well, for Spanish and German, they basically have actual letters but with accent marks. Also, as a plus, well, the Chinese person doesn't have any legs, right? Because they're seen as an alien, so to speak, if that's the case. Okay, I'm sorry, this is a poor example. I wanted to share this from my perspective, right? So think about how, if I'll make this easier, think about how when you hear someone that speaks, and I feel guilty of this myself because, well, not in a mean way, I will laugh because the language is interesting, but it's because I lack knowledge of it, right? Which means I'm not educated in the brain to basically know that, oh, Deon, yeah, they do talk differently, right? It's okay, though. That's just part of who they are as a human being, because that's the language that they basically speak, right? And the reason I want to share this is because I think I harassed and mistreated by, let's just say, Vietnamese people in the past, right? But I would love to go to Vietnam, especially since I do practice Buddhist morals. But when I tried to basically study their language, I would get bullied for it. Well, okay, that's one person, right? And that's not my mistake, that's theirs, because they don't want to acknowledge that I care enough to be curious about them, not in a mean way. And basically, from the videos that I've watched lately, right, which is basically pretty privileged, like those two white boys are roommates, I want to watch them, I'm not interested, because this is going to sound mean of me, they're just too hot for me to even support them. Yeah, that's not right, but the thing is, I'm trying to concentrate on myself because of my struggles. I feel that I cannot relate to them, even though they have just a normal thumbnail, no editing or anything, which is awesome, right? And they seem really sweet. It's just that I feel that I cannot relate to them because I'm in a different path than they are. It's the same way that, oh, you know what? Why is the Mandarin language so weird? It's because I don't know about it. That doesn't make me a bad person. That doesn't make them a bad person either. It's just, there's a, think about like the Wi-Fi effect, you know, it's disconnected. You try to do your best to have the bars being leveled up so that they can come together and you basically would connect. But without the bars, though, which is basically, well, speaking their language, there's no connection. It's it does not connect, right? It actually makes sense. That's why I'm so interested in other languages, right? And also for my planners, dude, I want you to do this if you want. If English is not your first language, okay, and you can translate, pardon me, if you want. I just noticed it's 5:29 right now, and I've only commented on some videos this morning, and yeah, I did sleep at least. It's the 3rd of November on the Monday, and I hope to put his blood that my mother's fine because she had to pull a one-nighter. By the way, we have a P.O. box. If anyone ever wants to donate, if they get any newcomers that may have like extra money aside, if you want, I know it sounds like I'm begging, but yeah, it's okay. You want help? I don't mind even a $2 bill just to keep, okay, or a pen pal, like a friendly letter, okay. I had to ask for help. Sorry, we are kind of struggling. And I want to basically return the favor. I hope I still got Terry's note, because I would never get rid of that note. Never, that she gave me. I kept promise on that. It was the sweetest I've ever had. Ugh. It's okay. Sorry, I'm being off topic and I have to pass gas. You can't hear it, but sorry, TMI. Crud, I got speech block. Excuse me, I was drinking water. Because I will. So, excuse me. I forgot what to say this now. What I'm trying to say is, basically, think about, okay, if I make this easier, right? You know how some languages have more speakers than others? It's because they're not as widespread. You know, like how English, let's just say, the language that, oh, yeah, that's right, the comments on, right. If you basically do speak, if your mother tongue, okay, which is the language by birth, is not English, feel free to type in your own language. I encouraged it, okay? I love reading those because I love seeing languages that are the symbols. Again, I'm autistic. I love seeing accent marks and whatnot. I think they're cute. I know that's weird, but that's why I'm so open or heart-minded of other languages. So that's your homework, okay? And also YouTube, I hope to put his belly that you can get this video suggested. I know I'm taking my time here, and I know I'm not speeding up and using any cool effects, but hey, I'm poor, and this is all I can do right now. You know, you terminated my other Dougie channel because I only got one strike of showing men's stomachs. No well, maybe there were pubes, but it's not like it's sexual. Oh, anyway, basically, think about English as being hot, okay? If I could give an example, think about English as Scarlett Johansson, right, or Taylor Lautner. You know, everyone is adored by the English language. And then think about, let's just say, Welsh. Okay, that is nowhere near as known. It's basically the hunchback of languages, right? Because, oh, it sounds ugly, it sounds complicated, right? You don't even want to look at it because it looks complex. Well, I do because I think it's pretty cool. Okay, I can speak a little of Welsh, aka Cymrag, right? Hadud, oh yeah, that's right. Hadud Ditlin. If you don't know what that means, it means today is Monday, right? Hadu was used today, Heddiw, and then did was supposed to mean day, Dydd, and then lin is Lylun. Wait, I think so. Again, I haven't studied Welsh in a long time. And also, you know what's really interesting about the Welsh language? The days of the week is after the planets. I wanted to tell, allow me to repeat myself. The days of the week represent the planets, okay? I still see Pluto as a planet. I know it isn't. Pluto, let's see. Pluto, Uranus, Neptune. You got, I know I can't do this in order. Saturn, Jupiter, that's 5, right? Okay, so wait, maybe it isn't Pluto. Okay. Scratch that. I still see it as a planet, okay? Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Earth, Venus, Mercury. Oh wow, that is more than I thought. Oh my dear, yeah, we got 8 planets. Well, okay, well, you know what I mean, right? If I could give an example, Dithmoth means Tuesday, right? As in moth. In the Welsh language means Mars. Because they're supposed to be the third day of the week. Because if you think about... Oh, crap. Okay, I can't... Oh, okay, I'm trying to give an example. I'm so sorry. I think they start with Saturday. So, if I remember how the Welsh does it, right? They start with Saturday, right? And then Sunday, that is... Okay, Saturday will be Mercury, right? Okay, that's Saturn. Whatever. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm making this too complex. But you know what I mean, right? That's where they kind of got the inspiration from. I at least so I've read when I studied Duolingo for that language. And it's not even spoken that much. If I could look up right now on Google, okay, even though I'm getting the stupid speedy web irritation because my mouth is so damn sluggish, language... Because, oh, golly, how many Welsh speakers, and I'm one of them, okay, even though I know a little bit, but I would consider myself as a Welsh speaker, I still know a little bit of it, right? And also, my favorite word, at least from a YouTuber that I basically did watch, is a white word, love him for that, Drif, I know I didn't say it properly, it means geography. So, on the AI Googling I did, there are approximately 800 and, again, this is fine, because this is like for educational research, right? Not AI images. Or whatever. Okay, sorry AI. Screw that. They are... Oh, sorry. Oh, that's more I thought. 250, that's a lot. I thought it might be, I don't know, a few hundred thousand. There are 851,700 Welsh speakers in Wales, according to last year's survey, right? Which represents 1/4 of the population aged 3. Damn it, that's not bad. That's not bad. So, for the census of 2021, 138,000 speakers, or 8 population, I'm going to round it up, can speak the language. And children and young people, which is basically half of those aged 3 to 5. Wow, that's awesome. At least the young ones are learning it. They can speak Welsh. And you know what's really interesting? They are basically almost 3 times the amount of Welsh speakers than Icelandic. And you know the country Iceland, right? Where they had a lesbian prime minister? I'm not kidding. Such a beautiful country, by the way. I always want to visit. They got a beautiful flag. And I do know a little bit. I only know, I think, 7 or 8 words. Okay, Glendale, this means good day. I don't want to say good afternoon, but golden notes means good night. And then ost means love. And then beer, which is like bear, but the other way around, right? This means town, right? And it says here the Welsh government has a goal of having one. I hope to build up. They will reach up, well, even way before that, 1 million Welsh speakers by 2050. That's not a lot of speakers though by then. Wait, Deon, wait, okay, total says 851,000, but we're not that far off. Hopefully by the year 2030 we'll make it 1 million. So the next 5 years we gotta increase that number. Okay. And it says recorded at 562,000 speakers, right? Oh, wait. The 2021 census data continued a trend of decline. Oh, that's awful. Wait, they dropped? Well, it says 2020. Damn, that is weird. Whatever. Anyway, basically, at least for the country alone, right? It's 500,000. Now, that doesn't seem a lot. But at least in the country of Wales, at least in Great Britain, that's a pretty good number for a language. So, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And for my Brits, I hope that you could continue studying that language. So, basically, what I'm trying to say is that in human society, from what I looked up, as someone that basically has been mistreated and also still think about his Brazilian boy crush that blocked him, even though he thought I was stalking him. No, I went through this with him, right? This is why I hate how, I despise how, if someone speaks another language, they get bullied for it. The same way as someone get bullied for their looks. This is why us human beings don't evolve. This is why we basically do not, I don't understand it. Okay? How are we supposed to evolve as a species and basically marry someone that's a different skin pigment / nationality and or ethnicity of us if we're basically so rude towards one another just because, oh, some stupid, I don't know, stereotypes. Yeah, those people, they're not included in this. But for the ones that don't cause any harm, I know, it sucks, right? It sucks because of how in social media or whatever, we basically see it that way. It sucks. Even I'm kind of guilty of that. But at least intrusively, I see it in my head. But I'm open. That's why I speak so many languages. If people like it, well, you know what? You don't need to be here then. In fact, I kind of feel sorry for you. Because, oh, sorry that you can't understand 4 languages so fluently. Maybe you should study more. But no, not everyone has that luxury. So, you know what? Disadvantages... Sorry, I had to brag because I want people to know there's nothing wrong if you like learning languages. Okay? That's why I'm trying to do this in a harsh way. Or saying this in a harsh way. There are people out there that can play sports and knowing a lot about science, while I know a lot about geography and languages and a little bit of history, right? Especially my state's history, for example. And basically this is like the image that you see on the video is one I'm trying to share, that basically I like to call it language privilege, right? The same way as pretty privilege, because people may not be as interested in language. I think the rarer the language is, the more fascinated I'm going to be on it. Because I think it's cool, especially if it's a dying language. Oh, I want to learn it. The same way I want to learn Latin. You know, I didn't study enough of it. All I know is salve, and from my Catholics and Latin speakers, well, okay, if you speak Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, right? You know what I'm talking about. Salve means hi. Salvete means hello. And let's see. Usunt means I am. I forgot to say boy. Crud. I'll just mix it up in Spanish, okay? Usunt chico, right? Or usunt nino, right? So I'm sorry, that was a terrible example. But basically, that's what makes life so interesting. And yes, I keep hearing this phrase that, oh, if all of us the same would be boring. Well, yeah, I get that. But the thing is, if all of us were the same, we wouldn't be evolving. You know? It actually makes sense. The same way if you look at Pokemon, right? They got different genders and they got different types of colors and whatnot. They wouldn't be evolving much of a species and basically adapting out environments depending on where they're from and whatnot. You know, think about that pink Rhyhorn when Ash, Tracy, I used to have a crush on him, by the way, besides Ash, and Misty, when they basically go to the Orange Islands, when they see that adorable pink Rhyhorn, right, that was just eating those fruits. I think that's pretty cool because it's adapting in a different environment. You know, I'm not sure if this makes any sense. What I'm just trying to say is, it just sucks at how, for people that have it so well off easy in life, they do take that for granted. That's why I don't want to watch that channel because, yeah, I know they're sweethearts and all, but I cannot connect with them. It doesn't mean that we're bad, no. It's the same way that it's hard for me to connect someone that speaks a different language. It's hard. It'll be humanly impossible, plus it'll be downright stressful if we had to study every language. What I'm trying to say is that this being opened, right? Like, let's just say if you're a foreigner, if you are, I don't know, a Romanian that want to visit Japan, you never understand each other, but you do your best to basically connect with each other. Let's just say if you've been robbed, you want to basically just tell, I don't know anything about Romanian. All I know is like note bona or Deon, I forgot to say hello. It's okay. Deon. If you want to say scusi, help, right? You know, something like that. But they kind of will at least know like your body language, right? Regardless of the language, it actually makes sense, right? And you'll still get helped. That makes sense. You know, that's what I find about language is so interesting. It's the same way, I like to call it the language privilege, right? Because just because the language may seem ugly to a lot of people, me personally, as they would say, I don't. You know, I think that's why I love Wesley so much. Well, not because of the stomach and the Nolly Kriya. I'm sorry, I love when he does that to his stomach. It's hot. And I got really attached to him. Yes, he's hot as hell. But I wanted to know more about him. I'm still a little bit hurt. I am. I wish he could tell me that he didn't want to touch me anymore. He did block me. I'm still upset. I am. Because I won't meet another hot boy on this earth like him. Ever again. Well, like him. Right? Yes, there may be another one, but it won't be the same. You know, the same way that you lose a loved one. But it's okay, though. Even though they may meet someone that isn't the same, but you can still build memories with them. At least having a connection that remind you of them, but differently. I'm not sure that helps. What I'm trying to say, okay, is that, like, even though he didn't speak English well, it doesn't make me love him less as a person. In fact, it really inspired me to wanting to study his language. So, you know, it's something I just wanted to share. And as someone that is poor, that does struggle, and I mean, I swear, if I have, not to mention my birthday is a month and a week from now, and I didn't got the chance to even, we're so poor, right, that I had to decide if I want cake, a birthday cake, or ham, right? Well, yet again, okay, what's more depressing, I wanted to have ham as a present. I love ham. It was delicious. I don't want it gone. I would eat just a little bit of it each night. I want to say this again for really hot people, right? You need to understand, yes, okay, if you've been to abuse rape, that is terrible. Okay? It doesn't matter who it is. They need to be in prison for what they did. However, though, and for my ugly people, do not bully someone just because, okay, like, yes, it's okay. In fact, it's normal. Okay, I feel that way all the time. In fact, you know what? Admit it. Okay, it's okay. You know what? Share, rant. You know, if you don't like them, that's okay. As long as you don't hurt them. Right? It actually makes sense. Now, I wanted to put this more towards the hot people, right? Because I know how they are compared to us uglies, right? If you have really good privilege, just to say you got a great job because of your looks, if you're a model or something, or if you may have like an attractive person that you're dating, okay? Please do not brag about it. Okay? If you have it really easy in life, please do not take it for granted. Okay, please don't. Because this is someone ugly like me, we would love to take your place. Right? Again, I'm not diminishing the ones that are attractive, that they want you a lot. The reason why I'm saying this is because for people that are hot, they like to make stuff up. I hear this all the time. I'm thinking, oh, brother. Not to mention this damn YouTuber that loves to sexualize about other people's dogs, right? And saying that, oh yeah, I'll go to depression. You know what? As someone has depression, I'm deeply offended, you bitch. And feeling suicide, the way that you talk, that you got a lot of money spending on people, right? Or freeing someone that you don't know, which is sweet, but weird at the same time, out of jail. Man, I would love to have that money, so that I can earn back my apartment to 60, to basically have my mother kind of retire. Buying some amazing, I don't know, Pokemon plushies, you know, to treat myself, buying all the delicious foods that I want, and healthy veggies and fruits, and drinking all the delicious orange juice, and I don't know, maybe going to Japan and maybe seeing the cherry blossoms and the Shinto temples, traveling, and basically food. You know, I would love to have that. But you say, oh, I'm depressed, well, maybe you should have killed yourself. But no, that's harsh. And yet again, you're defending people like me that go to depression to use it as an scapegoat, right? I'm thinking, screw you. I'm sorry for being off topic. What I'm trying to say is that it's like people, like for us English speakers, right? Like let's just say that sometimes we take our life for granted compared to like what's going on in the rest of the globe, right? Of course, we have our own problems, absolutely. Like the same way for hot people. Is just that whatever's going on the other side, maybe in countries that don't have many speakers, right? They feel isolated because they may not have the education to basically build connections with people. They may get mistreated because of the languages that they speak. I don't know. Anything like that. You wonder why I love Resi so much. I don't care if you speak Portuguese. I think that's hot. You know? And I know Brazilians, well, you know, there's Angola, Mozambique, etc., right? Of course, there's only a handful of Portuguese countries on this earth. Okay? And yet, people are not bullying them. Right? I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't give a good example. What I'm just trying to say is, us human beings, we need to basically do more healing towards other people. I know this video's like, I get suggested. I know it's not going to do well. Okay? And yes, I'm upset every day, and yes, I'm tired as well, and that's why I've been coming a lot, because, you know what, I want to do this for my mother. I even want to do this for Zelda, Greg, Dumbo, etc., because they're going to do a lot, not to mention they're struggling with the bills or whatnot. If I had the money right now, of course, I want my mother to do her part on this, because, well, she could do it privately. I would love to donate, like, goodies or whatever to them, just like how Terry from Massachusetts did. I still got the box, by the way. I'm not getting rid of it. Hell no, I'm not. Because that has her address. I'm not showing that because that's someone's business. So, yeah, you know, I just wanted just to get this out there. In fact, I want to say this, one of the most unique languages I've heard. Oh, Icelandic, that's one. Tagalog, even though that is pretty spoken, right? Actually, speaking of Tagalog, what I love about their language, or Filipinos, they mix it up with English and their own. So, let's just say, aking kapito, not good, pero I still love using it. Right? Sorry. That's a good example, right? Like my MacBook, you know, it's pretty old, but I still do appreciate that I have a laptop. That's how Filipinos talk. At least the younger generation, like maybe, well, my age or younger. I like that a lot. I think that's pretty neat. I know, it seems complex, but you get used to it. Right? And I like that. I like that a lot. Talaga. So, I just had to just share that. And not to mention, well, where I'm from, Spanglish is pretty common. Hola, you know, ¿cómo estás? Or, you know, okay. Hola, how are you? I'm sorry, poor example. You know what I mean, right? It actually makes sense. I just hope to put his belly that YouTube would get to suggestive more. And again, the PO box will be in the description, and then my Instagram, even though I don't get on them, because, well, the way that Wesley blocked me, I'm still hurt. And I have the one for any man, 1924, that can do Nali Kriya. Or if you like to stretch a lot, sorry, I have like a lucky fetish, you know, stretching and whatnot. I'm sorry. I hope that's not weird. And getting to know you as a person, right? Nothing like sexual. Well, I guess I'm not sure it's considered sexual, but you know what I mean, right? Maybe to get my trauma, maybe just to form like a connection with another boy, maybe just so I can move on from what I was like if I can make this easier, it's like I'm grieving over losing a dog, right? It hurt just not to keep looking back on their passing because it would hurt, you know. It should make sense. But yeah, I just wanted to. They must be so crummy. I just want to just get this. Oh, Deon, you been talking for half an hour on. Yeah. Oh crap. I'm going to be low on storage. Oh, I just know I'm going to get over a gigabyte of storage. Not good. Okay. I'll end this here. I just hope that this was pretty decent for any of you to learn about it. And quick question. What is your favorite language?